either way, we're going to get a post monster truck brawl, and somehow, some way, Hulk Hogan accidentally knocks the Giant off the roof. And of course, we know, anytime you see a murder right in the middle of a pay-per-view, it's not exactly what you were expecting.
Halloween. If you're going to murder somebody, do it on Halloween.
Well, do it on pay-per-view. Maybe standards and practices will leave you alone. Serious business. We know that at different times, there was an era where you couldn't bleed in WCW. In fact, it was this same year where there was a no blading rule. Where do we draw the line between blading bad, murder good? How does that happen?
Isn't that the weird thing about professional wrestling, though? Things that you would see in an action movie or television series, and nobody bats an eye, nobody brings it up, it's not an issue. But if you do if you have some of those same elements in professional wrestling, especially back at in that time, man, it's like people's hair is caught on fire, and I'm not really sure why. For example, murder can be the premise. A murder mystery has been the premise of television storytelling since the beginning of television time. But if you do something like that in professional wrestling, for whatever reason, oh man, you set the world on fire. I don't know why it is. I guess wrestling has always been in that funky gray zone where it's not really drama or action, but it is. It's not really a kid's show. It's more of an 18 to 39, 18 to 49-year-old product, but still kids watch. So people are, I guess, more sensitive to certain things in wrestling than they are in other forms of entertainment. But yeah, we got a lot of attention from that. And the blood thing was really, there was a lot going on when it came to blood. Certainly the AIDS issue was a driver of that and should have been. It was a health and safety issue. But it became more than that. It became kind of a cultural rallying cry for some people in and around wrestling. Some of it driven by Vince McMahon. And the reason I had to react to some of that is, for example, when WCW would allow blood, for example, Vince McMahon would write a letter to Ted Turner, CC senators, congressional people involved in the entertainment industry and the government, because he had a campaign to try to prevent WCW from using blood within the context of the show. So we'd react to that. As in this case, you're talking about right around this time, I made a rule, not that I made it willingly, but from Ted on down, it was like, that's it, no more blood. Mostly because they didn't want the press, right? They didn't want the bad PR. So we had to draw the line and make blading or inducing blood intentionally for entertainment purposes. That was off the list of things that we could do creatively. And about a month or two would go by, and then Vince would use blood. It's like, wait a minute. So eventually, I think people figured out in management that this was just a little bit of manipulation and PR work, and Vince McMahon trying to throw us off our path, I guess, for whatever reason. But it was there was a lot of hypocrisy involved in it as well.
Well, as you may recall, and boy, this was some silly stuff, after the Giant falls off the roof, which you would assume on top of Cobo Hall, if you fall off the roof, that maybe you're dead. That's not a far stretch to imagine, but hey, what do you know? The Giant still manages to make his WCW debut and show up and win the match by DQ when Jimmy Hart is going to attack the referee, Randy Anderson. And this is, trying to get Hulk Hogan involved with the Dungeon of Doom. I can't believe that Jimmy Hart is going to join the Dungeon of Doom, but he does, damn it. Randy Savage and Lex Luger run in. Luger's even going to turn heel here, and it's all kind of in the background of Jimmy Hart's big turn. Let's just take a time out for right there for just a minute. Jimmy Hart turning against Hulk Hogan, like they had been synonymous, certainly coming in from the WWE. I mean, they were together at WrestleMania 9. and now they've been together for all of their WCW tenure. Did you prefer? I prefer Jimmy as a heel as to a baby face. Did you have a preference? Did you like Jimmy as a heel or a baby better?
I hope Jimmy doesn't hear this because I really, really like Jimmy. He is a good person and he's worked so hard for so long. There's not enough time to say enough good things about Jimmy Hart. However,
I heard the butt coming a mile away.
However, he's a heel at heart, people.
Yeah.
And not very many people see it. Jimmy's been really good about keeping that part of his personality private. But you get Jimmy alone in the right frame of mind and listen to Jimmy Hart go off, he makes me sound like a Sunday school teacher. I mean, Jimmy was a great heel when he wanted to be because it was his nature. I think he was a much, much better heel. He was for me, a more believable heel than a believable babyface.
Well, we know that Jimmy's going to turn on our pal, the Hulkster here. And when that happens, all hell breaks loose. The Yeti shows up. Yes, the Yeti. We just talked about him making his Nitro debut. Now he's here. This is so fun, is it not?
Did I do that?
Did you do what? Did you book the Yeti to come in? So here's the thing. Like, I mean,
I had a mask on right now. Damn, I should have prepared better.
That photo of Hulk Hogan in the mid, there's a Hulk Hogan sandwich happening here. The Giant on the left, the Yeti on the right. And I guess this is supposed to be a beatdown, but it almost looks like a decidedly sexual practice.
I was going to say it looks like something out of a Bonnie Blue video. It's just horrible.
Look at you doing a deep cut with a Bonnie Blue reference. I can't believe you even know who Bonnie Blue is.
It's all over Instagram, man. It's hard not to know her.
Well, it's hard not to know this story of the Yeti either. I can't believe this is real, but here we are talking on Halloween, and as luck would have it, just this morning, we've dropped a brand new exclusive interview over at Ad Free Shows with the Yeti himself, Ron Reese. Let's take a listen.
And here comes the Yeti! I was in that main event sort of group there. I was looking for like a little bit of coaching, but it wasn't really there.
We're going to do a bear hug spot. Or how does that happen?
There was no call on that. I just got in the ring, started walking around. I felt stupid walking around. So I figured I'd do a bear hug because I'd seen Hogan a million times do the bear hug and the 3 count with the arm. And I locked in and maybe moved my hips incorrectly. 100% my fault. And I will, till the day I die, I will take all the heat for it. I'm going to tell you this. If it wasn't for me doing that, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
That's 100% accurate. Yes.
By the way, I just want to put Ron Reese over. He is generally one of the nicest people I've ever had to work with or had the opportunity to work with. Really super guy. I'm glad you had a chance to sit down with him.
Eric, we talked about everything. We went a deep dive to not only that one night at Halloween Havoc, but how Ron was first trained by Big John Studd, how he became the Super Giant Ninja, how he joined Raven's flock. There's a lot to unpack with Ron, and we do it all at adfreeshows.com. Check it out right now at adfreeshows.com. I promise you do not want to miss what Arn Anderson said to Ron when he came back through the curtain that night. By the way, over at adfreeshows.com, not only do you get all of our shows early and ad-free, but you also get a ton of bonus content. How much is a ton? What about more than 100,000 hours worth? You get every live panel from StarCast. You get interactive Q&As. You get watch-alongs. Plus, we've got exclusive series you can't find anywhere else with Lex Luger, The Godfather, David Crockett, Mike Chioda, Tully Blanchard, The Blue Meanie, and Downtown Bruno, and more. Go check it out right now at adfreeshows.com.